Really?
All right, great. So I think that the best way to go about today's conversation would be that there'll be time for question and answers. So if you have any question, you could just let it down, just type it down in the chat box, or you could, pen them down in your notes so that at the end of the session you can ask your question. And that's majorly because I don't want the situation where I lose my train of thoughts trying to answer your question while speaking. And most likely I might even address some of your questions while speaking as well. But of course, if you can't hear me for any reason, please feel free to let me know. Of course, you can interrupt at that point. Okay, so thank you to Case Academy for the invite, and I hope you have a wonderful time today. Today's topic is, I think before I even go to today's topic, something is very important for me, right? I'd like to know how many of us actually work as a tester currently? Like you have a 9 to 5 as a tester. Please could you help me perhaps raise your hand, say hi in the comment. Okay, one person. So I'm assuming, okay, two. All right. Any other person? Okay, three. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that's the about the ratio. And out of the people who raised their hands, pardon me, I know that the topic already says for beginners, but as testers, there are no assumptions over here. We always ask the question. So I'm going to ask, um, how many of you are actually a little bit above the junior level? So let's say you're an intermediate test. Okay, perhaps I should rephrase my question. How many of you have been testing for close to 3 to 5 years? You've been testing for about 3 to 5 years. Anybody? All right, great. I might have to take out. Okay, someone is here. Great. Okay. All right. Um, Esther Johnson, was that a yes? Okay, Chinan, so was that a yes? You've been testing for about, okay. Islamia, I believe you're also saying a yes. All right, that's great. Constance, you're also saying a yes. All right. So I kind of believe that I just have a very fine blend of beginners and some sprinkles of intermediate guys on the team. Yeah, so let's get into today's conversation. Today's topic is AI for beginners, what AI can and can't do for testers. And we're just going to run through it so we don't waste time. So today's roadmap is we will start with what AI truly is, because I do not want to assume that everyone actually knows. Or maybe I do not want to assume that everyone has a clear picture of what it really is. Then we'll move on to talk about QA and AI. Then what AI can do for testers, what it can't do for testers, and practical steps you can take today, not tomorrow, tonight, right? Then, of course, we'll move on to questions and answers. All right, so a brief about me. My name is Abiola Rasaq, and I am the founder of the Bug Detective. We are a quality assurance as a service company, which means that we render software testing services to organizations, basically. And I have nearly a decade experience in testing. And of course, I've worked with diverse teams, both in Nigeria, within Africa, and beyond. And I'm currently doing a number of work around how we can build AI products that are accountable and responsible, and of course, for the good of the human race. I've also gotten the opportunity to speak at multiple conferences as well. So yeah, that's me. Yeah, people call me Abby usually. I think many people in tech call me Abby. So even my friends call me Abby. So feel free to call me Abby at any point. So moving on straight. Now, today's conversation. What exactly is AI? AI is artificial intelligence, right? So what exactly is AI? Um, in a very simple, I like to use very mundane examples and very simple examples, because I understand that if you need those theoretical definitions, you would have gone on YouTube to watch a video, you would have asked ChatGPT or you would have asked somebody to define it to you. So you're not coming to this class to come and be hearing a very rigid, theoretical sounding definition of AI. You're here to actually learn and glimpse from my own experience with AI. So I would do that by making sure that everything is very, very easy to understand, very fluid. Okay, so simply put, AI is just the way at which we build systems and machines that think and act like humans. And I use an example here. Think of it like a child learning, like teaching a child the alphabet. A for apple, B for ball, D for dog. The child learns these patterns from example. There's, if you remember all those little books we have, all those picture books, it has the apple. Then the child know, oh, when I see apple, apple is A for apple. Or when you say B for dog, C for cat. Eventually, when you move on from picture to alphabet, and you just showed the child only alphabet, and you click on, and I said click, and you point to A, the child say A, A for what? A for apple. Why does the child say A for apple? Because while you were teaching the child the alphabet, you actually taught the child that pattern of A equals to apple. So when you point to B, the child say B for ball, C for cat, and it goes on and on. Now, this is the same way your machine actually learns pattern. Now, I had to put a caveat here because this is a very beautiful example, but it's not entirely a perfect example. Because in reality, eventually the child grows up and gets to taste what apple looks like and, have a different feel of what apple, have different perspective to apple beyond A for apple. But for the machine, the machine doesn't necessarily, your models doesn't necessarily understand that apple tastes like, it's very juicy, it's crunchy, whatever. Doesn't necessarily know that. What your system actually knows, on the contrary, is the patterns. It doesn't really understand why apple is apple. Not like, oh, I understand it because it tastes like this. It just understand the pattern that you have assigned to the alphabet. Don't worry, I might be speaking some, it might be feeling off a bit, but just follow me. So now to really break things down, because when we talk about artificial intelligence, we can say that basically, I believe it's a sub of computer science. So artificial intelligence is not a field that AI is not a field that just, that it's a new field just popping up somewhere, different from the old tech that we've known. Actually, it's not. It's like a development, let's just call it a development and a growth from the software system that we've always known, just an advancement from it. So when we talk about artificial intelligence for testers, because of this class, and I'm trying not to go into anything technical, I want to make it as easy and very soft to assimilate and understand by everybody. So in in AI, we have something we call machine learning. And I had to like point it out here because I could just define it this way and move on. But I felt I could just give you a little juice and just give you small extra instead of just leaving you with the definition and moving on. But think of it this way. So what exactly is machine learning? From the word machine learning, the way machine learns, right? Simple, break it down that way. Now, the way I was saying A for apple, B for ball, the way you teach a child. So the same way, AI actually learns from example, and those examples are called data. Or in more technical terms, you can call them training data. So that is machine learning. So just think it as the way we teach the machine how to do certain things. Remember, we say artificial intelligence is that process or the method at which we teach the machines how to think and act as humans. So now think of machine learning as that part of AI that teaches that particular machine how to actually behave in certain ways. Now, another part which we are going to talk about, which is also important because it's important to this class, that's why I'm talking about it, are LLMs. So they are called large language models. Many of you know ChatGPT. Some of you might know Copilot. Some of you might know Gemini. You might know Claude, Perplexity, and a host of other guys. So LLMs, I'm not going to go too technical too because this is not an AI class. This is AI for testers and actually AI for beginner QA. So we make it very short, right? So just take large language models as those machines that have been trained, pre-trained. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformers, if I'm correct, if I'm not speaking gibberish at this point. So, right? So these are pre-trained models, like this machine learning. Remember what I said about machine learning? This is the way we train the machine. Now, LLMs, your ChatGPT and co, they are trained machine. We train them, they become trained, and you use them like ChatGPT. Simple, straight to the point. Simple for you to digest. Now, there are like more layers to it, but for this class, just leave it like that. Machine learning, we train it. LLMs, they are trained. Like GPT, for instance, they are trained. Great. Moving on. So I don't complicate this class any further. Now, automation versus AI. I know that for some of you that like mentioned that you're maybe like 3 to 5 years in testing, you must have heard about automation or even dabbled into something related to it one way or the other, right? So what exactly is automation and how is it different from AI? So for people that are new into testing, let me explain what we do in automation. So let's say I want to test that we can log in into Zoom that we're using right now. And we have to go to a tool called Selenium or go to a tool called Cypress or Playwright and write some code. So script out some things that tell and create a bot that tells the machine, I need you to go to Zoom and log in and tell me if it is successful. So I have to manually write all of that. Then, subsequently, I'll not have to write the code again. The moment I write it once, that's the end. Everybody's fine, right? Then I just need to maintain over time. But why is it different from AI and why are we even talking about it today? With AI, you don't necessarily need to know how to write a single line of code. All you need to just do is write what you want in English, and the model is going to create what you want the way you want it. So now that's how I want to explain it. So let's move quickly because we have a number of things to do today. Now, QA and AI, the big picture. So what are we talking about here? When we talk about this part, I am going to try to demystify a whole lot of things. And why I am demystifying it is because can you still see my screen perchance? Okay, I can't see anybody.
Yes, I can see
Okay,
your
cool.
screen.
All right, great. I just wanted to confirm. So one of the reasons I really wanted to demystify this is because sometimes one of the questions that I've come across so many times has been, oh, Abiola, how are you preparing for AI with, in QA? It's coming for your job, right? There's always a news somewhere that says that, this company just created a tool that can do your quality assurance and software testing for you in few minutes and yada, yada, yada. And you know what? There are going to be limited testers, and life is gonna be this, and life is gonna be that, and that. And it keeps going on and on. And people that are coming into the field are asking questions like, you guys, wait though, is this actually a good time to come into software testing? Or, as the ship sailed, should we just look for another field? Like it looks like you people already AI is already coming to sweep your job. Let's look for another role that AI is not coming for their jobs yet. So this is that part where we need to talk about it straight up. So now as a tester, one of the things that you do is that you have to do your test planning, you have to write your test cases, you have to create a bug report, you have to think critically, you have user empathy, you need to think for the users, you also have your domain knowledge. Now, for AI tools, there is like speed, there is scalability. So what am I talking about? Speed and scalability. I'm literally saying that I can churn out more work in a very short period of time. So if you ask me to write a story about an elephant and a bird, I would have to pause to say, and I start typing. Elephant, big, massive, with a beautiful trunk. The bird sings, da 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 da. So imagine the what's it called when I mean lions roar, pig snort, and crows. Like what do elephant do? Does anybody here know? Don't mind me, I do this in my classes a lot. Does anyone here know what elephant does? Anyways, if you find it, please drop it in the comment. I'd like to know. So imagine the combination of the bird chirping and the elephant doing whatever it does. The elephant doing whatever it can do, right? So now it's going to take me a while to kind of just picture the entire thing to create a story. But think about if you feature GPT now and ask it to tell you, give me a story of an elephant and a bird. You will be surprised. Ta ta ta, sharp sharp. That's created, this tortoise and this tortoise story we hear when we were children. It will create it for you in a blink of an eye, and it will be so interesting. You'll be hooked. So that's the difference between how much you can create something with speed and at a larger scale. It can actually create a 10 I might have to take maybe it can create a 10 chapter story in a few minutes. It will take me weeks, if not months, to create a 10 chapter story of an elephant and a bird. Maybe I will even have to visit a zoo to be able to, create something that is very meaningful at the end of the day. And just at your fingertip, you can create that. So that's what I was talking about, speed, the time, and the skill, the volume of at which it's able to create, those things that you want. So pattern detection, code generation, data analysis, text generation. We'll come to that. And pattern detection, like I said, understanding patterns, A for apple, B for bird, whatever. Then code generation, it can create your Python code for you, write your JavaScript, whatever you might want. Data analysis, it can compare between two documents. If you give ChatGPT today two Excel sheet and tell me, oh, can you tell me the data that runs across both tables? Can you remove the duplicate data and all of those things? It can do all of that for you. Of course, text generation. When you send a prompt, it responds to you. Now, what makes you an efficient or a smart tester today? It's not those people that say AI is coming for our jobs. Neither is it those people that say it's a lie. As testers, we are, those people that believe that nobody is going to shift them, right? So it's not those people. It's neither of those two people. It's actually those people that say, you know what? I get it. There's something that AI does that is actually very impressive. And there's something I know that makes me important that you can't just take away from me. Now, what if I bring AI's skills, sorry, not skill, AI's advantages or the AI, whatever you might call it, the adjective now, I can't find it. Let's say you're looking for, okay, yeah, the word is capabilities. So let's say we take AI capabilities and my own skills and you bring them together, you fuse them into one another, you have a smart tester. And a smart tester means that I can create more test cases, I can figure out things a lot faster. For instance, I'm going to give like real life stories. I'm not here to come and look aspire to inspire to Maguire. I'm not here for that. So I'm going to tell you what actually works. I have stopped writing test plans. Like who does that? 2026, bruh. You will never catch me there. I just feed the important information to my LLM and bruh, create the test document for me in Word document, and I just do what I download it. Everybody is fine. And I share it to whatever party is interested in it. That is the end of the game. Before it would usually take me a number of time to edit, to think. Now, at a 5 minutes, I'm done creating a test plan. What are you talking about? So now that makes me a smarter tester. But yeah, we are going to, I mean, the essence of this conversation is how, what AI can do for you and what it can't do for you. So, of course, I'm going to break things down even further. So let's go. So what can AI do for you? Now, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to explain it to you, but I don't believe in explaining alone. I believe in seeing is believing. As testers, we trust, but we verify. So I don't just tell you what AI can do. We also do something together. So in this class, you will not just listen to me alone. We will also do some exercises together because it's not going to be so fun if I just come here, share a bunch of slides, we talk and we go. But you need to see what I'm really talking about in, real life scenarios. So, of course, one of the things that AI can do for you is to write test cases faster. Now, I need you to pay attention to my words. I'm not saying that it can create perfect or amazing test cases for you. Recipe for disaster, you're on your own. I'm not the one that sent you. But I'm saying that can it create test cases? Yes. Now, the depth of that test case is now left to you because now you are the governor, you're the test governor here. You are the one that is supposed to ensure that yes, it has done the hard work for you. Then I can now do the other smaller things that would have taken me more time. So yeah, it can write test cases for you. All you need to just do is describe a feature, the AI draft test case in seconds, then you edit and fine tune into what you want. Now, the next thing is that the AI can generate test scripts. So let's say you want to write a Selenium or a Cypress test script. I was asking initially, so I'll be able to know people that might understand automation, because I have a demo I did for a conference where I wrote some code for an AI agent that created my Selenium test case, ran the entire thing, gave me a report, triage, everything. So I have a little demo, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it in this class so that I don't send the beginners packing. So we'll figure out the temperature of the class before we say yes or no to that. So the next thing will be spot missing scenarios. So for instance, sometimes after writing your test case, you feel like something is missing, but you can't figure it out. So you send, of course, you don't share sensitive information of your organization with what I mean the LLMs, of course, we'll get to that. But please make sure that when you are actually sending information, sending prompts, you make sure that you are not going into some things like, oh, our company admin password is why you can't why did that come into my mind? Anyways, our company password is Case Academy. So you now want to go and tell ChatGPT, you give ChatGPT the login URL and the password. My dear, it's you and Case Academy or you're your own, right? So, but you can actually share some information, context. We call it context. You can give the model context without sharing, sensitive information. The same way when you are documenting some things, your test cases, this everybody might not know this yet, but yeah, for some people, okay, let me use a better example. If you use Google here, you know that sometimes Google will ask you, if you use Chrome and all of the other browsers, rather, they will ask you if you want them to save your password, and they eventually mask the password. Next time you come, you just either, if you're using, maybe you use a Face ID, a thumbprint, and you're able to log in with no issue. You don't need to start typing your password over again. So things like that, sensitivity and all of, just make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not sharing sensitive information with any LLMs. Don't put those information out there. You never can tell where it's going to go to. So just putting it out there. So of course, it can help you spot missing scenarios. And how that can happen is that you can share some of the test cases. Like you can say, oh, I've tested this, I've tested that, I've tested this. I'm trying to test a banking application, and these are the tests I've already written. Where do you think I am still missing a test case? Then it will make suggestions for you. Then, of course, you'll be able to figure that out. Then you can write better bug reports. I really like this. You paste a note. Maybe something happens. We are lazy. Sometimes I get lazy. I think it comes with experience. After a while, you don't just have time for any type of scenario when you're testing. So sometimes I'm testing and I'm seeing, I found a bug and I don't have time to be filling that shit. I just say, oh, add this, da 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 da. So I just create that. I explain the defect I found and it just creates them into structures like the bug reports templates that we already use as testers. It creates them into it and I'm able to just download it, copy and paste it into my file, and that's the end. So I don't need to type or start typing and doing all of that. It just does all of that for me. Then summary test report. Of course, when you want to create, if you're, I mean, when you eventually grow to become like a test lead or you're working on a solo project, you need to share test results. What should I say? Test report to your team or to your leads or whoever is in charge, right? You need to share reports with them. So you might have like different test cases, you have different defect lists, you have so many things that you've done, and you just need someone to just summarize the entire work that you have done for 3 months into a very, the very solid summary that someone reads at a glance and they understand the entire work you put into those 3 months. AI can also do that for you. Then, of course, it can also help you learn and upskill faster. And this is my favorite part. I am someone who enjoy reading research works, so technical research papers and all of this. And I love feasting on them. So one of the things that I like is that when I come across any terms or any process or terminologies or way of doing anything technical that I don't know about, I don't just say, mi ò mọ̀ o. Apologies for the non-Yoruba speaking people. I don't know. And you move on. I actually go on ChatGPT and say, what is this? And one of the things I like about all of those LLMs is that they would never call you stupid. They will never say, at your age, you don't even know what this is, or how many years have you been in this field and you still don't know this. In fact, you can call them your patient senior assistant. They just help you with a lot of things. And one of the things I do is I ask when I'm working, let's say I'm working on something and I see something called, let's say, boundary value analysis, and I don't understand. Let's assume I don't know what that means. I would go on, let's say, Claude and ask Claude, can you explain what boundary analysis is to me? Like I'm a 4-year-old, and it will break it down for me. Can you see the difference now? You would learn faster. You can even ask ChatGPT or Claude or Perplex, Perplexity or whatever the name is now, tongue twisting. You can ask all of those tools and say, okay, I'm trying to learn how to be a an automation engineer in just 3 months. Can you create a training guide for me? Oh my goodness, that's one of the sweetest way ever. And it creates a learning map for you. And if you are very, very, disciplined enough, you tell it, oh, these are the times I'm free, these are the times I like to learn, these are the times I assimilate better. You put all of those context into your prompt and you feed the model. My goodness, you get a very tailored, map for you. And like that, you don't learn everything you want to learn, and the rest they say is history. So let's move on real quick. So what can AI do? Let's do a real example. Um, I should finish show the AI demo we're selling. I'm sorry, I'm just going back to our elephant trumpet, Constance. Thank you. You're amazing. And thank you for all the people saying really nice things. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Okay, so let's go into okay, let's do this. All right, great. Let me know if you can still see my screen. I'm showing ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Can we see my screen?
Very, very well.
All right, great. So we're going to try something. We are going to do something together. I would just ask it a random question, right? Then anybody in the class, you can just drop me in the chat box. You can just tell me, oh, let's do this, let's do that. But I'll tell you what to do. So let's start with this. So I mean, ChatGPT is already asking, where should we begin? So we are going to ask it to write. So let's do this. Write test cases for a login page Mm, it has a username. Let's do this. Oh my goodness, who be this? Okay. For login page. Okay. So let's give it context rather. It has a username field and a password field. What again does he have? Okay, yes, of course. And a login button. Okay. Let me now give more context so that life is easy for everybody. Use the standard um test case table format. All right, so let's go. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay. All right. Does this look familiar to anybody? Let me see. All right, these are like test cases that you've write for long time, right? And we've created 10 test cases in a few seconds. 10 test cases. Now, I like to put a disclaimer. Ah, Jesus Christ. I need to put this disclaimer because my people will tell you that I like to fight people for this. I would like to put a disclaimer out there that you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot know how to use these AI tools efficiently if you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. So, which means that if you haven't learned how to actually test, how would you know if the AI or the model is giving you rubbish? If I don't know that your name is, or if you don't know that your name is Abigail, for instance, if I call you Moses, if I call you Bukun, if I call you Victoria, you will answer. Why? Because you don't even know your name is Abigail to start with. So if you don't know what to test, well, safe to say that anything ChatGPT gives you, you go just swallow them. And I can tell you from experience that ChatGPT would give you wrong answers so confidently. I confidently give you wrong answers. I will look for a screenshot. Maybe I'll share it with someone on the team or maybe Toby or somebody, and they can share with you guys later. I have a screenshot of a time I asked ChatGPT about something and it gave me a wrong answer. And I screamed, I typed, I said, ha, you can lie. And ChatGPT responded to me and said, ah, you don't catch me. Like, bro, if I did not know the original answer, I would not even know that that was a lie to start with. So you just say you don't catch me, like, bro, you gave me that wrong answer with your chest. I found that it was a lie. I'm like, this doesn't sound correct. And I said, no, you're a bloody liar. And he comes like, ah, you don't catch me. So literally, if you don't now take it into context to your business, to your company rather. So imagine you're testing for your company and ChatGPT just gives you rubbish. And you say if you have the effrontery and the audacity and the chest to go and write it in your company, you're on your own, like serious trouble. So this class, I'm assuming that you all have gone through the process of learning what it really takes to be a tester. You understand the fundamentals of software testing before you even start dabbling into how can I use AI as a tester. Like if you're not even a tester to even start with, just close your eyes as I'm talking. Like pretend you can't see this. But peradventure, you already learned what it takes to be a tester, then you're welcome to keep watching what we are doing. So basically, we have some things here. Say verify login with valid username and password. Then verify login with valid username and invalid password. So check for the happy part, check for the negative scenarios as well. Verify login with invalid username, invalid password, then invalid username, invalid username, valid password, then invalid username and invalid password as well. Right. Then there is verify login with empty username and valid password. Then yeah, so empty field as well. So it did a number of things. Check if the button is clickable. Verify password field, mask input characters. Amazing. Verify login with both username and password are empty. That's like empty field. Then verify username field, accept input. So it wrote everything for us, like every single thing. But the only thing that it did not give us, can you see what it is? It gave you expected result, the priorities, but it did not give you actual result because it did not execute anything. So it is left to you to go and execute, and all you now be doing is you'll be filling up the space. So imagine that you are supposed to test login and you have to write all those test case, but this model, ChatGPT right here, creates these 10 test cases for you. Do you know how life has become easy for you? All you need to just do is create your actual result field, and you start imputing. And of course, when you are documenting your defect, you add your screenshot and your screen records and all of the other information you want to. So can you see how life is easy? But I don't want us to end it here. I want us to try something. So maybe someone can give us, maybe should we test something? Should we actually put something to test? Anybody? Anybody? All right, so just drop it in the comments if you have anything you would like us to test while I quickly run through my slides so that I don't waste time. And so that Toby is going to call me next time. I'm not be like this lady, she's always talking too much. All right, so what AI can't do for you as testers. Now let's be honest, this is where we shred the curtains into two and really tell you what is true. Now, one of the things that is very important is your users. Remember, as testers, we test for the user's perspective. We also test for the business requirements. We also test for finding defect in the system. We test for a couple of things, actually. Now, this AI tool, for instance, ChatGPT, does not know Sholakwe Pay. So my company's name is Sholak. Let me use somebody's name here. Let me go and look for somebody's name. Chinonso. So Chinonso Pay. Chinonso has a fintech product called Chinonso Pay. So Chinonso Pay is founded by Chinonso Nwosu, if I'm correct. Yeah, I can see the name here, so I'm just calling names. So Chinonso Pay is, founded by Chinonso Nwosu. And of course, Chinonso decided to release his product and looked for Faith and say, "Hi, Faith, I need you to come and test my product." And Faith goes on ChatGPT or use Gemini and says, "Create the the login page for Chinonso's Pay app." Now, you need to understand that, number one, ChatGPT does not know Chinonso Pay. It has never seen that app before because to start with, the app is currently not even on Play Store yet. It's still on you people's, it's still an SDK that your developer has to send to you for you to download, right? Oh, did I just say SDK? I mean APK rather. Don't mind me. So you see an APK that you need to download on your phone and all of those things. So the AI would never have context to what it means in Lagos to have a fintech product. It doesn't know what it means to be able to send money, right? It doesn't understand what it means that, oh, when I'm saying I want to be able to send 1,965 naira 25 kobo, I want to be able to send the exact amount. It doesn't understand what it means that when MTN and Airtel are showing me shege, I still want to be able to send money. It doesn't understand all of those contexts. It doesn't even understand the context of when I want to log in into my application, how should the flow look like within the Lagos context or the Nigerian context. If you've ever tried to use any application that wasn't built within the four walls of this country, you would understand some of these things that I'm saying. You will understand that the flow, the interface is a little different. There are certain things that we do. There are also certain levels of should I call 2FAs that we have to do, two-factor authentication, but not even in terms of security alone, but even in terms of registration. Sometimes you want to open an app and you will see something like, oh, what's it called? We need you to be in your location for the next 24 hours. Instead of you submitting an utility bill to show that this is your address, we want to track your address to make sure that this is truly your address, because you can put the wrong address and go and commit fraud in our application, and you run away and we get to the location and not find you. This is very, 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 very much peculiar to our own environment. So ChatGPT would not know all of those things. So you understand the users, you understand the business, you understand the context, you understand the environment, and only you can bring that knowledge into the space. It speaks to the next thing, domain knowledge. It is you who know your company. It is you know who know their risk appetites. Your company cannot even afford to lose 50,000. You people back up. Right? It's you that know understand the company. So you need, because it is you. The AI cannot replace your domain knowledge. And remember, you always remain the tester. The tester doesn't understand, the AI rather, doesn't understand a whole lot of things. Its own is just to, it has been trained on how to create test documents. So all it's just doing is creating based on trained data. It doesn't really understand what you are saying. If you think that, oh, if I say teach me how to cook spaghetti, don't think that the AI understand what spaghetti looks like or how it tastes like. It is just based on the data it has been taught and trained on spaghetti. It's giving you feedback. So it still needs you. So now another thing, like I was saying, and thank God someone even mentioned it in the comment that, it says, my colleague shared a screenshot of an AI that said it's frustrated, right? So don't also, AI can like I was saying before, it can confidently give you wrong test case. I promise you'll be shocked. Or maybe not shocked in the sense that you might even not notice it. You'll be shocked that you might just write beans by yourself. You to drag your developers. For those that work, you drag your developers that they wrote bug in their code, but you might actually be the one who copied bugs from ChatGPT and fed it into your system. So pay attention as well. So visual and UX judgment. Of course, when we talk about UX, UX testing, we are talking about readability. We are talking about the colors, the font, the grammatical errors, and all of those things. If I'm showing an AI product, it cannot really decide, oh, this app that you have built, oh, it's good for Nigerian Gen Z. It's fitting for my mom's generation because it's different, or is it fitting for my own generation because we are all different. Our taste is also different. So the visual judgment also still lies on you. ChatGPT does not know your logo. So let's say, for instance, the UI UX person mistakenly turned your logo upside down. Now you sabi. If you don't check it, ChatGPT can check that for you. So all of those visual judgments still rest on you, and of course, responsibility. If eventually there are some bugs that, if you truly test, there's some bugs that happens, and we know that, oh, it's possible. Some bugs still find their way into production even after we've tried our best to test. Some still find their way to production, but there are some bugs that you see in an application, that the tester didn't do a good job, or maybe the tester isn't skilled enough, or maybe the tester was something, you just know that this is actually a testing error. There are certain bugs that show you this is a testing error. Why? Because you just know that if you had tested this application at any point, you would have seen this issue. So at the end of the day, it's not if ChatGPT did not find those type of bugs for you, it is not ChatGPT's fault. It is your fault, because you are actually responsible for testing the system, not the AI. Another thing I would also say is that, communication at the end of the day is still your human judgment. Communication is still your responsibility at the end of the day, because there's so much the AI system can do. It's just your own responsibility to make sure that you are still you are still an overseer of the entire software testing process. And one of the things that I would say is that AI is your assistant, it's not your replacement. So don't just give all of the testing responsibility to the AI to just do for you. You can allow AI do the heavy lifting for you. Instead of creating this template, imagine I want to start testing something, I don't want to create a template. I can just ask ChatGPT to create it that way, and I, download it and I put it on an Excel, and I work from there. So it has done the heavy lifting of writing all of those things for me. And now I cannot bring my own critical thinking I can bring my user empathy. I can bring judgment. I can bring communication. I can bring context. I can bring the business requirements, the product requirement. I can bring all of those things into the system. Now, remember what I said from the beginning. Now I can bring my own testing skill and my own human skill into the AI capabilities, and we can both work together. This way, we'll be able to test faster. We'll be able to cover so much ground in such a little time. And even lesser bugs is going to escape us because if me, I'm testing and ChatGPT is also testing, two grounds. Together, we can cover so much more, right? And that's one of the things I just want to put out there. So I try to understand the temperature of the room before I do this. So I removed the slides that I initially created for this. So I'm just going to give a little background gist. So because of the, let's just call skill level of the class, I am not going to teach testing, how to test an AI product in this class. I'm just going to give you a summary. Then, whatever happens, maybe next time, maybe not. We'll see how it goes, right? So so beyond actually using AI to test your product, if you remember now, most application now has an AI chatbot. Every now and then, one bank is releasing their own chatbot. Chat with Zara, chat with this. I mean, please, and I actually want to know. If someone say we need it though, my dear. Um, we'll come back to that. So, can someone in the comments actually tell me if you can remember any of those chatbots for those banks? Looks like some of you even work with banks already. So tell me, what's your bank's chatbot? Leo, thank you. Any other one? Ziza, Zenith. Everybody has a chatbot. So which means that what happens in those scenarios is that a lot of companies are now embedding a chatbot into their systems. Where that comes to play is that you, as the tester, by the time you are testing the product, you will eventually have to also test this AI product. So it's not just about what's it called? It's not just chatbot alone. I think I worked on a system, an AI system that helps. It's actually for social media marketing managers that helps create leads and break them down into categories and all of those things. Anyways, so literally there's actually a model. So it's like what's it called? It's more like a company based. There's actually a word for it. I'm trying to remember. Um, so it's not public. Let's just call it a private AI tool. There's actually a word for it, but I can't remember right now. But let's just assume we just call it a private AI tool where, it's like an LLM for this particular company. So if I want to ask any question, the way we have this Ziva for Zenith, right? Anytime I have any question, all I need to just do is, how can I create an account with Zenith? You type it into it, it tells you all of the process. Oh, I just got debited. What can I do? It tells you what to do. So this is an example of some of these chatbots, they are tailored to the company itself. So we have a lot of products like that. So how do you test things like that? So in testing this AI product, so for you, you need to understand that there are two parts to it. I use AI to test, but I might actually come across I might be in a situation where I have to test the AI product itself. So I'm just going to run through some things, some of the things that we do, or some of the strategies I use. Don't let me say some of the things we do. Some of the strategies I use for myself is something I call one of the very first thing I do is I have two ways I test. So there's like a process and there are like techniques. So let's start from the process. So there's something called a chain of thought. So what's chain of thought? Understanding. When they say walk me through your thought process, perfect example. That walk me through your thought process is like telling the AI system, yeah, walk me through your thought process. So that's chain of thought, understanding why the AI system made certain decisions, just literally understanding the process. You get the gist. Then there's also something that is called prompt perpetu hey, Jesus, English. Um, Perturbation. Great. I had to calm down there so I don't bite my tongue. Prompt perturbation. So prompt perturbation testing is literally me just tweaking the same way we said, where's my ChatGPT now? So the same way I was here and I was typing write test cases for a login page, I can also change it to assume you are, so this is prompt perturbation in real life. Assume you are a tester. So I want it to do exactly what I just did, but I'm changing my request. I'm seeing if the output, the response it gives me is still similar, right? Of course, with AI, there's something we call variation, and variation means that if I ask the AI question multiple times, it would give me different answers, but different answers in the sense that it must arrive at the same conclusion. So let's imagine that I say, how many legs does a, oh no, I think that might be two, it's like 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. Let me look for something. I say, okay, great. I ask an AI and say, oh, how can I make a chicken pasta? Right? It can give you tomato chicken pasta, avocado chicken pasta, something chicken pasta. But the point is that for how many times I ask the question, it can give me different recipe of chicken pasta, but some things must be constant. One of the things is that it must contain pasta, it must be a pasta dish, and it must have chicken. So if it doesn't have chicken, it doesn't have pasta, then that means that it's giving something wrong entirely. So that's one of the ways we test AI, because it's not like enter username and password, select login, and you will get the same response. You will log in. If you cannot re-log in, error, then that does not work. When you are testing an AI system, it's going to keep giving you different answers. If I type one thing, it will give me one. If I give it another thing, to give me another answer. But that does not necessarily mean that all of those different answers are wrong. I need to be able to find a link to be able to say that, okay, at the end of the day, this is the correct ground. If it goes out of this box, then it is wrong. If I ask you to create a chicken pasta recipe, if there's no chicken, if you start adding fish and jollof rice, then you know that it has gone left. It has hallucinated. It's no longer speaking the language that it should speak, right? So, yeah, so that's the way so one of the ways we test for something like that is called prompt perturbation. I don't want to go into too many details right now because I feel like I might just keep rambling and rambling, and I need to round up now. So let's go. Finally, how to start using AI as a tester today. So right now, we've talked about a whole lot of things. We've talked about you as a tester. We've talked about you using AI to test, and I've also shared like an example. And I've also briefly, just briefly, sneak, talked about some of the ways. I didn't really finish it because I still have so many things that I wanted to talk about, like, few shot and zero shots and all of those things, but there's no time for that. So yeah, so there are all of those things. So now let's talk about how you can start using AI to test today. Of course, we have ChatGPT, we have Claude, we have Perplexity, we have Gemini, we have some other guys as well. We have I can't remember a lot of them right now, but I use a number of them actually. If you ask me which is my favorite LLMs, I'll tell you that I use assorted LLMs. Like I pack all of their heads together in one basket and I, put them together and sieve it and pick the juice out of all of them, combine it together, plus my own brain that the Lord has given me that works so well. Then, all of us together, we make a great team. So that's my favorite LLM. So I use assorted LLM. That's my favorite LLM. All right, so moving on. So use AI to draft. So next time you are given an assignment, I hope that Case Academy don't come to my doorstep with, cane. But next time you are given an assignment, use your AI to draft your test cases, rearrange it, and of course, remember critical thinking. Then bring your own expertise to play into it. Then, if you are working on a system, you see anything unfamiliar, please ask the AI to just, explain it to you in a ways that, you can easily understand. And if you've written any bug report, you can easily just share some information with a model and just say, please, can you explain this to me? Just to explain some things real quick, AI is not coming to take your job. AI input is not always correct. Please make sure you check it. You don't need to be super technical. You don't even need to be technical at all to be able to use an AI tool, to be honest. It's plain English, simple. And AI would never understand your system like you do. So the responsibility is still on you. And of course, this is time for Q&A. Thank you very much for listening to me speak for over 30 minutes now. I hope that was a great day for you and I. So please start small today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tonight, this night, start something. Let's see how that goes. So yeah. Oh yeah, of course, you have to be very specific. If you give very generic and questions, it gives you generic answer. And one of the things that I like to say is that you actually control the wheels of whatever you are prompting. How do I explain this? Number one, if I ask ChatGPT, am I my grandfather, it would only tell me if he knows my grandfather. Let's assume that my grandfather was a renowned person in Nigeria. It would only tell me based on that knowledge, right? So if he doesn't know my grandfather, if he doesn't even know where my grandfather fell from, it cannot give me any information about my grandfather. That is the way AI works. So AI is not a super angelic being that knows everything. In contrast, AI is just AI. It's just a trained person. If you've met me before and you're my friend, it's easier for you to speak about me because you've learned about me over time. If you don't know me, you don't know me, right? How do you connect with me after today? My name is Abiola. I'll type it. My name is Abiola Rasaq. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I actually run away from Twitter these days because that thing is too dramatic. But you can find me LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever social media works out there, right? Yeah, so for those people that want a short, so for those people that want to see what my, let me look for it. This is my, oops, this is my GitHub. So you can find this. I used it for a conference. So you can find, oh boy, oh boy. Just give me a minute. I think I messed up something. Okay, I'm trying to find. So here's my GitHub repo for, okay, let's do that again. So this is what I was talking about. So if you come here, you will literally find my AI assistant Selenium demo. You can go through the README file, you can fork the repository, and you find all of the information there. So you can try them out. So why can't I paste it? Okay. So for those that are asking, you can just find the demo here and go through it. You can, for those that already understand how this thing works. And in the demo, if you check this guy, so this is a video. I just showed how some things work. But basically, the same thing I'm showing you here is what happens here. So you just put the setup, this is how it works in your terminal. And that's it. This is majorly Python code. I write Python, so that's my work. All right, let me stop sharing my screen at this point and let me take questions because I also have to run. It's already 8 p.m. So I have to run soon. So questions, please. Anybody? Anybody? Question? Am I missing any question? Anybody? Can you still hear me? Please, can you give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Abigail, don't worry. Don't worry. Send me a DM on LinkedIn. We'll take it up from there. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Since there are no questions, it was really lovely spending time with you all tonight. And I genuinely hope that you were able to take one or two things. No, 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 no. That GitHub repo is for people that understand how to code. If you don't, just close your eyes, just ignore it. That's why I didn't want to touch too much on that part because I didn't want to confuse this class. Please, if it's only for people that understand how it works. If you don't, please, it's not that deep. Life is remember, it's not that deep. Just remember, it's not that deep. All right, thank you so much. I think I'll just, yeah. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.